Hello, and welcome to Peak Oil News for Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. Today I wanted to dedicate to updating some of the larger stories we've been following. Crude dropped today, first off, presumably because of further recession fears mounting, and likely because of simple mean reversion taking place in the price chart. Certainly, we were due for some relief after a sustained run-up. Interestingly, crude did flirt with $100, dipping down to $101 before climbing back to $105 at the time of recording. A quick update on Libya. There are a series of conflicting reports coming out of the country this week in regards to their oil production, which we've talked about a couple of times. While there seems to be a general consensus that the chaos and shutdowns will not find a solution in the near future, reports on just how much oil is getting out vary. At first, the oil minister Aoun said that only about 100,000 barrels were getting out of Libya. And then a diplomat came out a few days later and said, no, there were about 700 barrels coming out. And then just yesterday, the same oil minister, Aoun, came out and said about 800,000 barrels were coming out every day from Libya. In another story, we see, and we have been speaking about, how oil markets are rerouting. They are no longer going to Europe as much as they are going into Asia, and we see more evidence of this happening. Last week, Russia overcame Saudi Arabia as China's largest supplier of oil. As you know, a few weeks back, it had overtaken Saudi Arabia as India's biggest producer. So Russia is finding outlets for its crude oil. The crude being sent to Asia surged by 55% year over year in May to about 2 million barrels per day. Of course, the bright part about this story, for those of us in the West at least, is that if demand is satiated by Russia for India and China, that will take some pressure at least off oil prices on the global market. At least we can hope. So, the bad news is this reorientation is clearly happening, and once oil markets and routes are developed and smoothed out and the logistics are all settled, Russian oil may decide to keep going to China no matter what the political situation is like. And Europe might just be out of luck. All right, and in a third follow-up story, if you remember, I speculated roughly 1 week ago that we would see a growing trend of countries turning to coal, particularly if electrification of transport continued. Well, it appears the coalification or recoalification of the grid is happening even faster than I imagined. Germany's economy minister announced emergency measures to increase the use of coal to ensure Germany's electricity needs were met, and Austria has made a similar announcement. This happened in the face of a sudden reduction of gas going to Europe from Russia via Gazprom's Nord Stream pipeline. And Gazprom claims that the reductions are due to repair work on that pipeline. But Western European powers believe it is in retaliation for the EU's support of Ukraine. So, we continue to see a lot of he said, she said as well in oil markets. And I'm sure that will be one of the most prominent phenomenons as we go down the oil depletion cliff. A lot of finger pointing and a lot of difficulty figuring out what is really going on. But I will do my best, and I'm glad you are here. I want to thank everybody who has subscribed and liked and commented. Your comments in particular mean a lot to me. So please, if you have anything to say, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, that's fine. But let me know what you think. All right. Have a good one.